Good evening, Americans. You found the Mark Bradley Show. I'm your host, Mark Bradley, here with you every Monday through Thursday night. Coming up tonight on the show, House Resolution 2454, the American Clean Energy and Security Act passed the House. We'll talk about that and what it means and what it is. We'll talk about a 67-year-old Vietnam veteran from Massachusetts being asked to surrender his firearms. And just for fun, I was looking on OutdoorLife.com. They have a whole bunch of pictures of boats and clever names, so we'll get into that, and I'll post a link to that later. If you want to contact me, the email is markbradleyshow@gmail.com. Links posted at Twitter and Facebook.com. Thanks for watching. Right to the news. This was Friday, and if you were listening to the radio on Friday or if you watched the TV, you would have known that the U.S. House of Representatives was rushing to vote on House Resolution 2454, the American Clean Energy and Security Act. Some people have called that the cap and trade or the cap and tax bill. Well, it's Friday night after I left and went camping for the weekend, which is why my face is a little more red than usual. Got a lot of sun out there on the boat. It was great. Caught some fish. Had a great time with the in-laws. It's a beautiful place over there in central Washington. Anyway, enough fun stuff about me. Back to the hard business. Oh, by the way, you can breathe a sigh of release. Congress has gone on summer vacation as of Saturday, so take a deep breath. You're safe for a month or two, okay, before they come back and start messing things up again. Anyway, the House passed this bill Friday at 7:17 p.m. The vote was 219 to 212 in favor of this new bill that would initiate a cap on greenhouse gas production by anything in America, whether it's your car or if it's an electric utility company, whether it's a manufacturing facility. Everything would now fall under this greenhouse gas emissions cap, and then there's a trading system where you can trade credits around, and it is a mess. The bill is huge. The bill is hundreds of pages long, and it's just full of legal jargon, and I read some of it, and it's extremely difficult to read, and I doubt if half of the members who voted for it read the whole thing, and I doubt if any member of Congress read the whole thing, even Representative Waxman, who sponsored the bill. Now, 8 Republicans voted in favor of this cap and tax bill. Now, why do I call it that? Where do I get that from? Well, let's look at this here. According to the Congressional Budget Office, this bill, and I quote from their report, in total, the changes would reduce budget deficits or increase future surpluses by about $24 billion over the 2010 to 2019 period. They would increase federal revenues about $846 billion and increase direct spending by the federal government about $821 billion. Well, wait a minute. Where does that $846 billion of increased revenue come from? It comes from taxes. That's exactly where it comes from, and it comes from the tax on pollution, as it's called, or greenhouse gas emission, which is what comes out of the backside of a cow. It's what comes out of your mouth when you breathe. It's what comes out of the tailpipe of your car. All of that is considered greenhouse gases: methane, carbon dioxide, carbon monoxide, all the good stuff that's in our air. Well, maybe not all that's good. That depends on who you ask. Anyway, that $846 billion with a B that they're increasing, that they're taxing, that they're taking in, is 16 2/3%. That's 16.66% of our GDP. And where are they going to get that money? Who's going to be able to pay for that? You are, and I am. We're going to have to pay for that. And it's ridiculous. There's provisions in the bill for low-income families who are affected by higher energy prices. You can bet that won't, it's a refundable tax credit. You can bet that won't affect you if you have a job and you make enough money to live. Anyway, I'm just glad that Congress has gone, hey, call your senators and let them know that you are not in favor of more taxes on energy and that you think this is the wrong way to combat pollution. Because that's all this does. It's not about global warming. It's not about climate change. It's about somebody making money, and it's about pollution. And we can all agree that nobody likes pollution. The smog over Los Angeles, when I lived down there, it was terrible. I mean, it's just nasty driving down into that. I happened to live north of Los Angeles up in the hills. It was quite nice most of the time. But yeah, you could look down there and see the fog. It's disgusting. So, reducing pollution, a good thing, a noble cause, right? I live in the beautiful green state of Washington. Well, half of it's green anyway. And it's nice that it's that way. And the rest of it is clear and clean. It's a beautiful state. However, we don't need huge government taxes, huge federal taxes, to keep our air clean. And they're not going to fix the problem. There's all kinds of stuff in there for renewable energy. And just the numbers don't work, folks. If you look at all the what solar and wind can provide, it's not going to fix the problem of gas and coal plants. And the fact that we can actually do things quite efficiently and quite reduce, the pollution has been reduced significantly through technology. And that's the way it should be done, right? Well, that's my opinion. You can tell me yours. Email me, markbradleyshow@gmail.com. There was I heard Friday morning when I was listening to the radio, a 67-year-old, well, actually a lady called on behalf of her friend, a 67-year-old veteran of the Vietnam War. Lives in Massachusetts. He's been buying guns for most of his life. He owns quite a few legally purchased, registered firearms, and the FBI, without cause, asked him to surrender those firearms. Why? The reason was not given. And that is a huge problem, and this is still a developing story, and we'll see where it goes. I will follow it and keep you updated on that. But if the federal government can do that, I mean, that's kind of scary, that they would just step in and say, we want your guns because we think you're a threat. Just like Janet Napolitano, the Director of Homeland Security, her list of, conservative, right-wing veterans are a threat to America. Well, that's not what most of us think. At least that's my opinion. Anyway, I was reading on Outdoor Life. There's some quite amusing boat names. You see these pictures of, well, you've seen some of the boats if you go out on the water like I do. And then some of them have a cute name on the side or on the back. Some people name them after their wife, girlfriend, whatever. Well, these ones were quite clever. One of them was named Assault Weapon, or, if you say it quickly enough, Assault Weapon. That was quite amusing. That was a obviously a saltwater fishing boat. There was one named Petty Cash. Very nice, beautiful cruising, bay cruising boat. And then one that I thought would go well next to that was No Mas Dinero. And if you don't speak illegal Espanol, well, I guess Espanol is not illegal, but the people who come here sometimes speak it. Anyway, if you don't speak Espanol, that means no more money. And then finally there was this poor little boat that was sitting on a trailer in a back alley with no motor on it that said, "Wife said no." And that's just too bad. Thankfully, my wife has agreed that someday, when we have the money, we can buy a boat. And that's a good thing. That's what America is all about, freedom to do what you want if you can. And if you can do it legally, right? Well, hey, enjoy your week. Thanks for watching The Mark Bradley Show. We'll be back tomorrow night. More on the craziness in this country. It's a great country, though, isn't it? Thanks for watching.